Black all the time, no matter the time of season. We spice up everything and add our flavor, we the seasoning. Hated by many, but admired by most. We the baddest from the US to the Ivory Coast. We don't have to exert our power, we just simply ghost. We've been put down, let down, and hung out to dry. But through all of it, we still keep our heads to the sky. Black forever, forever. I'm unapologetically black. We rise like unapologetic, yeah, we're the chosen. From the streets to the stage, the power's awoken. Black magic in our veins, feel the motion. Warriors of change, pushing through every notion. No chains can hold us, we break through like oceans. Educate, elevate, that's our devotion.
Another QueenAShakur production.
I'm unapologetically black for all rhymes and reason. I give no apologies for my blackness, giving rhyme or reasons. Black all the time, no matter the time of season. We spice up everything and add our flavor, we the seasoning. Hated by many, but admired by most. We the baddest from the US to the Ivory Coast. We don't have to exert our power, we just simply ghost. We've been put down, let down, and hung out to dry. But through all of it, we still keep our heads to the sky. Black forever, forever. I'm unapologetically black. Still pushing through the struggle, can't keep us down. Voices loud from the underground to every town. Shades of excellence, ain't no hiding, won't back down. From the roots to the US, in the city's crown. Stay shining bright despite the hate they lay. Our culture's fire burns strong night and day. Black forever, the spirit won't decay. Raise the banner high, cause we here to stay. Sally, stay shine, but we're too good. It'll never I talk, so I cry, Sally. Angel, you command, your thoughts are demands, and it's turn on Sally. I'm unapologetically black for all rhymes and reason. I give no apologies for my blackness, giving rhyme or reasons. Black all the time, no matter the time of season. We spice up everything and add our flavor, we the seasoning. Hated by many, but admired by most. We the baddest from the US to the Ivory Coast. We don't have to exert our power, we just simply ghost. We've been put down, let down, and hung out to dry. But through all of it, we still keep our heads to the sky. Black forever, forever. I'm unapologetically black. We rise like unapologetic, yeah, we're the chosen. From the streets to the stage, the power's awoken. Black magic in our veins, feel the motion. Warriors of change, pushing through every notion.
Black, y'all, and I'm black, y'all, and I'm blacker than black, and I'm black, y'all, and I'm black, y'all, and I'm black, y'all, and I'm blacker than black, and I'm black, y'all. I'm blickety black, blacker than black, I'm blacker than.
All right. Hello, everyone. Thanks for tuning back in once again to the original QueenAShakur show. I'm your host, QueenAShakur, and this is your daily vitamins. As you're coming in, please feel free to go ahead and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Be sure to click that notification bell and click the word all so you're notified each time the Queen Goddess goes live. Also, don't forget to follow me on Instagram at Dr._A_Shakur, also on Twitter at DGoddess27. Okay, so with that all being said, let's have a brief word from my sponsor before we get into it. All right.
Do not buy 12 Tribes on Earth hair growth oil and hair magic elixir unless you want super healthy, gorgeous hair that grows. They have a whole line of amazing hair growth products, including hair growth leave-in conditioner spray, hair growth shampoo, hair growth spray, and hair growth butter. I'm starting to sense a theme here. They include quality natural ingredients. They smell amazing, and you can see the results for yourself. So if you're looking for healthy hair growth for your natural or relaxed hair, try 12 Tribes on Earth today.
Okay, so with that all been said, don't forget to purchase. You can purchase 12 Tribes oil for your hair at Etsy.com. Just look for Lisa Crafts, and you can also find it at Walmart.com. Okay, so let's get into it. Let's get into it. Everybody, please hit the like button. Please don't forget to like and share. Thank you in advance. Okay, hold on just a second. I'm trying to figure out what is going on here. Why is this taking a minute to load? Okay, there we go. Hold on, beloveds. I'm trying to get something together real quick. Okay. So unfortunately, it looks like Smokey Robinson, honey, has been sued for assault by some of his former employees, and also the legendary Lakers star. Okay, Byron Scott has also been sued. So let's talk about it. Likes up, everyone, please like and share. Thank you in advance. Now, here is what they are saying about Smokey. Smokey Robinson, age 85. Are y'all serious right now? Is accused of sexual battery by former workers in bombshell lawsuit. So let's get into it. Iconic singer Smokey Robinson has been hit with a slew of sickening allegations, including rape, sexual battery, and false imprisonment in a bombshell lawsuit from his former employees. The 85-year-old R&B star, whose real name is William Robinson Jr., is alleged to have created a hostile work environment with his wife, Frances Robinson, also named in the legal document that was filed in a California Superior Court on Tuesday. This is all bad. I mean, these lawsuits are just coming out on a regular basis. Please pay attention. Now, they say the accusations include assault and gender violence with 4 female former housekeepers, claiming the singer used or that he would systematically target them around his Chatsworth, Los Angeles mansion between 2007 to 2024. The complainants are suing for at least $50 million in damages for each of the 11 allegations listed in the 27-page document. Now, they claim Robinson would order them to his bedroom or to rooms in the property where he knew surveillance cameras would not find them, before placing a towel on his bed and allegedly raping and humiliating them. Are y'all hearing this? I am so done too, Bithia. This is absolutely egregious. Okay. Now, they say his wife, Frances, accused of failing to step in despite knowledge of her husband's alleged depravity, including being driven to a nail salon so he could come home alone with one of his accusers every Saturday. Robinson has been on tour to celebrate the 50th anniversary of his hit soul album, A Quiet Storm, and is set to perform hours after the press conference in Huntington, New York on Tuesday night. Now, the singer has not responded to the news of the lawsuit, and his company did not immediately respond to a request for comment. This is just bad to hear, honey, at the end of the day. 85 years old, and this is what's going on. Okay, you can kiss this legacy goodbye. Now, and I'm not saying that he did anything wrong. I'm not saying that he did any of this, that he's guilty. I'm just saying, just pay attention to how often these lawsuits are coming out, okay? And what the people look like that are getting hit with them. The 4 plaintiffs who are suing Robinson have chosen to remain nameless and are referred to only as Jane Doe in the filings. Okay, they're listed as Jane Does 1 through 4. So one of the plaintiffs alleged that Robinson actually assaulted her several times in his mansion beginning in 2016. He would summon her to either the laundry room or garage where there were no cameras, according to the lawsuit. Now, the accuser said that Robinson raped her without a condom at least 23 times. She gave graphic details, including claims that the singer would enjoy putting his bodily fluids all over her face. She says he would then threaten her by saying that his wife would be mean to her if she didn't comply. My question is, why would you stick around after something so disgusting and vile happened? Because that sounds absolutely egregious and disgusting. Why would you stay there? Okay, like these people are crazy if you ask me. So anyway, goes on to say the same complainant alleges that Frances also perpetuated a hostile work environment by regularly screaming at her in a hostile manner and by using ethnically pejorative words and language. Another former housekeeper alleged that she was assaulted by Robinson at least 7 times between January of 2023 and February of 2024. This man is 85 years old. How was he doing this just 2 years ago when he was 83 and 84? Okay, I don't know if I believe this, but let me continue. When she was forced to resign due to repeated sexual assault. So I'm telling y'all right now, there's no way in the hell somebody of that age is going to be sitting there doing something like that to me, okay, and get away with it. Like, I'm not going to fight back now unless you have a gun, and I don't. Okay, but how is this even happening? Honey? Let me continue because this sounds crazy. Okay, so anyway, goes on to say that she claimed the singer would take his wife to the nail salon on Saturdays and then rush home to be alone with the housekeeper. He would he would allegedly summon her to his blue bedroom, escort the dog Shiloh out of the room before locking the door and attacking her on his bed, causing her great pain. So when the wife left, if this was a common occurrence and it happened every Saturday, why didn't she just not come to work? Why didn't she just quit? Or better, or even if she was going to stay because she needed the money for whatever reason. Well, when the wife left to go to the nail salon, why didn't she leave too? Why didn't she ask the wife if she could go with her? I'm just saying this all sounds crazy to me. But let's continue. So the housekeeper said that she would try to resist his advances, but could not. In one desperate attempt to shake him off, she shouted, "You're married to the singer." But she said he would casually ignore this. She said this occurred at least 7 times, forcing her to stop working for Robinson in February of 2024. She also claimed that the singer and his wife failed to pay minimum wage or overtime wages. Lord have mercy. The third accuser says she was also working as a housekeeper when Robinson attacked her and alleged a similar pattern of abuse whereby the singer would lure her to his bedroom. She said Robinson raped her at least 20 times between 2012 and 2024. And on one occasion, he offered her $500 to allow him to early copulate her, according to the lawsuit. The housekeeper also accuses Francis of failing to take the appropriate corrective action to prevent Smokey Robinson's defiant or deviant misconduct. She said this came despite his wife having full knowledge of his prior acts of sexual misconduct and having settled cases with other women that suffered and experienced similar assaults perpetuated by him. Now, the fourth accuser also says she was attacked by Robinson while working as a housekeeper between 2007 and 2024, alleging that he never used any type of protection while assaulting her in the home. The complainants alleged several offenses, including negligence, sexual battery, assault, false imprisonment, intentional infliction of emotional distress, gender violence, creating a hostile environment, and failure to pay minimum wage. The lawsuit comes just weeks after Robinson released his latest album, What the World Needs to Know, on April the 25th. When he announced the release of the album last month, Robinson told CBS Mornings, he said, "I want people to be inspired, to care about each other, and to love each other." Now, when asked about the legacy he hoped to leave as he embarked on his A Quiet Storm tour, he told the broadcaster that he hoped it would be that he was a good human being. One who recognized the fact that if you don't get any bigger than being a human being, I don't care what you, one who recognized the fact that you don't get any bigger than being a human being. I don't care what your craft is or what you do for your living and all of that. So I hope that's my legacy. Well, that legacy is going to be destroyed, honey, at the end of the day. Okay. Christopher says she's trying to get paid. You know, I don't know what in the hell is going on here, but I just find it also egregious. I mean, an 85-year-old, I can't even fathom somebody of that age doing something like that. And the person not being able to fight them off of them. But you know, it could happen, I guess. Okay, so now let's go to this video report. Okay, this news report. Likes up, everyone, please like and share. Thank you in advance. Because they had a whole press conference about it. And I'm going to share my screen. Okay, here we go.
Good afternoon. Thank you for coming here today. My name is John Harris, and this is my partner, Herbert Hayden, with the firm of Harris & Hayden. 3 of our 4 clients are present here today. They've been identified as Jane Does. There's one appearing remotely, who you can probably see on the screen. Also is Miss Guzman, who's interpreting for us today. This is to announce that earlier today in Los Angeles Superior Court, we filed a complaint against William Smokey Robinson Jr. and his spouse, Frances Robinson. The principal causes of action against Mr. Robinson in particular are sexual battery, assault, false imprisonment, gender violence, and creating a hostile work environment. Obviously, these ladies are identified in the lawsuit as Does, Jane Does 1 through 4, to protect their privacy, since the lawsuit involves sexual misconduct of the worst sort. We're seeking damages of $50 million. Obviously, no amount of money can compensate these women for what Mr. Robinson subjected them to. But given the gravity of Mr. Robinson's despicable and reprehensible misconduct that is further detailed in the complaint, this amount is clearly warranted. Our 4 clients have a common thread. They're Hispanic women who were employed as housekeepers by the Robinsons, earning below minimum wage. As low-wage workers in vulnerable positions, they lack the resources and options necessary to protect themselves from sexual assaults throughout their tenure as employees for the Robinsons. Let me briefly summarize each of their individual claims. I repeat, I will not describe the details of the sexual assaults and rapes because they're too graphic and disturbing for this news conference. But you can read them in the complaints that we have provided with many of you today. Let's talk about Jane Doe number 1. She worked for the Robinsons for a little over a year, from January 2023 to February 24. Mr. Robinson first sexually assaulted and raped her in March of 23, as detailed in the complaint. What he would do was summons her to his blue bedroom, which you'll probably be hearing about later on. After having just showered, he would come out of the adjoining bathroom naked and proceed to force her to have sex with him against her will. He sexually assaulted and raped her in this manner 7 times. She quit in February 2024 because she could no longer endure these sexual assaults. Jane Doe number 2. She worked for the Robinsons from May 2014 to February 2020. Smokey Robinson's modus operandi was somewhat different with her. He would ask her to meet him in areas in the home where there were no cameras. There were 2 such places or areas in their Chatsworth home, the garage and the laundry room. When she would meet him at this location, he would immediately begin to sexually assault and rape her. causing her excruciating pain. He sexually assaulted and raped her in this manner 23 times. She was forced to resign because she too could no longer endure Mr. Robinson's sexual assaults. Jane Doe number 3. She worked for the Robinsons as a housekeeper from February 2012 to April 2024. Her story is quite similar to the others. Mr. Robinson would call her into his blue bedroom where he would sexually assault and rape her. This occurred approximately 20 times. And like the others, she quit in April of 2024 due to the repeated sexual assaults against her. Jane Doe number 4. She worked the longest as a housekeeper for the Robinsons from October 2006 to April 2024. He raped her in 3 of their homes, namely the Chatsworth home, the Las Vegas home, and the Bell Canyon homes. He had a preoccupation of fondling her breasts and touching her all over her body against her will. She too quit in April of 2024. The obvious question that one will ask, and I suspect most will, why didn't they report Robinson's criminal misconduct to law enforcement or go public before now? As I said before, these women were all low-wage earners living from paycheck to paycheck. They all feared missing a payday and not being able to pay their rent or buy food for their families. Also, Smokey's
I'm sorry, but I'm not buying that. I'm not saying Smokey's innocent, but what I'm saying is please don't sit here, sir, and try to paint the picture that these people didn't quit because they needed a paycheck. You could go find a job elsewhere. At the end of the day, who in the hell is going to sit there and let somebody put bodily fluids on their damn face and do all sorts of nefarious things to them for all this time and years and they not do anything? Like, this is absolutely crazy. Okay, this is absolutely crazy. But anyway, I darn sure wouldn't have done it. Okay, if this is all true, honey, I feel sorry for them. If they thought that they had to sit there and put up with that just to earn a living, that's absolutely nefarious. Okay, College of Natural Health Sciences says, I would have quit after the first time. Exactly, honey, please. Okay, thank you for your insight into the topic and your contribution to the channel, beloved. Peace, love, and blessings. So all nefarious.
Robinson's celebrity status intimidated them and all made them feel powerless. I want to add that these 4 women were afraid of shame, familial humiliation, and embarrassment. The stigma that still exists in some cultures that unfortunately blames a rape victim for the assault perpetrated against them. And having to tell their husband and children of these despicable acts against them left them overwhelmed with shame and embarrassment. So throughout their dreadful experiences with Mr. Robinson, all 4 women remained silent because many of them worked at the same time. Too embarrassed to reveal their assaults by Mr. Robinson to each other. Once they broke their silence, an avalanche of emotions began to flow between them. Hence, they're all here today. These courageous 4 women have collectively decided to come forward and share their experiences of being sexually assaulted by Mr. Smokey Robinson and stand up for their rights, as well as the rights of other women. Particularly those that may be victimized by him in the future. We believe that Mr. Robinson is a serial and sick rapist that must be stopped. We further believe that these four women's testimony as to Mr. Robinson's sexual assaults and battery against each of them will be unassailable and compelling. Our clients, these four courageous women, want and demand justice for themselves, and the filing of this lawsuit is the first step of their journey to achieve that objective. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Herbert Hayden. I just want to echo some of the sentiments that you just heard from my partner, John Harris. We want to applaud our clients, these four women, for the courage that they've demonstrated since they've retained us as their attorneys to bring them justice, to bring to light what they have endured for countless years until they decided that they'd had enough and left the employment of the Robinsons. So with that being said, at this point in time, I'd like to take your questions regarding the case. We'll go right here with the.
I just want to, what brought these women together? Did they share their stories together? Because it sounds like some of the employment overlap. Did they know what was going on with each of them? And did that then cause them to say, wait a minute, this isn't just happening to me, we can come together as a group?
I don't want to get too much into the particulars of the initiation of the lawsuit. Obviously, the women all worked together. Some of their shifts did overlap, and there was a common thread between them that led to the filing of the lawsuit today. For any further questions, I direct you to our email address, press@harrishayden.com.
Can you talk about Frances Robinson's role in the alleged misconduct, what she did and what she is accused of?
Well, I think that the complaint speaks for it in great detail. We believe she was aware of the misconduct by her husband, Smokey Robinson, and that she used their status as well as our clients' reliance on their living wage in order to keep them in check. And so we believe that, among other things, is what brings Ms. Robinson into the case.
Do you expect that they will be filing charges will they file complaints with the police as well so that they can investigate this as a criminal matter?
We have not been contacted by the district attorney's office yet. Obviously, we're more than happy to cooperate as best we can.
Does a police report though have to be filed by the women in order for the DA to then proceed?
Well, again, no police reports have been filed by our clients as of yet, given their fear of having done so.
But where do you stand on that? Do you want your clients to file a police report now that they've retained you as their lawyer?
I think that's something that we need to discuss with our clients before we cross that path.
Because based on the disturbing allegations, don't you feel like this is something that law enforcement should investigate?
Well, I do think so. Yes, I do.
Are you able to identify Jada 1, 2, 3, and 4? Obviously not their names, but just who's who?
I'll let
No,
Mr. Harris.
we're not inclined to identify them as such and help in that regard. We want to maintain their privacy. And for that reason, we don't want to say who's 1, 2, and 3, and 4. You guys are good at what you do, and it wouldn't take long to figure it out.
Our purpose is to identify.
Okay, understood. But we're going to keep them anonymous as possible to ensure their privacy.
You mentioned their status being used against them. Are the women undocumented, and were they specifically threatened with their legal status?
So that is not an allegation that we're making. We believe that the fact that these women are Hispanic, they come from cultures that sort of demonize the accusers of rape and sexual assault, that that stigma was used against them by the Robinson. Obviously, the employer-employee relationship had a big factor in that as well.
But you won't comment on their immigration status?
Not at this time, no.
I do have a specific follow-up to that question. So in the complaint specifically, it says that one Jane Doe feared on losing their livelihood, familial reprisals, to also include the possible adverse effect on their immigration status. So you just said that you weren't claiming that. Can you clarify that?
Well, I think what we mean by that is that obviously within the Hispanic community, particularly in this climate, there is a fear of reprisal based upon any insinuation that there is an immigration issue. So I think that speaks for itself in their hesitancy in making that an issue in this case.
To come forward?
Correct.
Have you been able to obtain any photos or videos of any of these allegations taking place? I know that for one of the women, the allegations took place two places you said where there weren't cameras, but it sounds like for some of the women took place in places where there are cameras, the blue bedroom.
Yeah, we do have evidence, although we're not sharing it at this point. We will probably later in the proceedings, but we do have evidence of some of the misconduct.
Evidence in the form of videotape?
I'm not going to comment, but we do have evidence.
Have you heard at all from Mr. Robinson himself, as he responded to the complaint or any of the allegations?
No, we haven't.
Can you clarify the additional does, the 1 through 25, what that refers to?
That's just common practice. If more people come to light, it's just protecting the lawsuit in that regard. If we learn of other people that should be named.
I know that one of the women worked as long as 2012. Do you believe this behavior has gone on since 2012, long before that? Or?
We have reason to believe that this behavior has existed for many years. And I think giving the allegations, we're fairly confident that he's a serial assaulter.
So were any of these women allegedly threatened? Were they told, don't say anything or else? Were they threatened with physical harm?
They were threatened. I won't go into the details, but they were threatened in various methods by Mr. Robinson.
And in the complaint, there's also the allegation that they weren't paid fairly or properly, correct?
That's correct.
Can you touch on that?
Well, for example, all of them, most of them, I would say, maybe not all of them, they worked 60 hours a week. They never got paid overtime. They were chastised by Miss Robinson if they tried to eat, if they tried to take breaks. And that's part of the allegations. Just the employer-employee relationship. They violated, we have alleged, numerous labor laws.
Mr. Hayden, were they essentially held prisoner in your view?
I don't want to say they were held prisoner, but I do think that they were beholden to the employer-employee relationship with the Robinsons, which left them in a conundrum of what they should do if they want to maintain their livelihood.
And I might add, one of the allegations is false imprisonment. When he was committing these acts, they did not feel free to leave.
What?
Well, $50 million. It's just, we wanted to get his attention. It's a serious matter. And the assaults against these 4 women was horrendous and despicable. Hence, a big number.
And just to clarify, you're seeking $50 million total or?
Total, not each claim.
Which of the allegations specifically against his wife?
Yeah, well, all the labor code violations are against her. I'm sorry. All the labor code violations are against her as well.
think the intentional infliction of
and the
emotional
intentional
distress,
infliction of emotional distress.
hostile work environment as well.
And what can you say about what ultimately made your clients decide to quit in their authority? Was that something they got pushback? Was there ever an NDA involved in any of this work?
I'm unaware of an NDA. They just finally had enough. They couldn't take it anymore. And they just collectively decided to quit.
So are you claiming that Mrs. Robinson, his wife, knew about what was going on?
Well, we believe that there was some knowledge of prior misconduct of a sexual nature against other individuals against him. And we're alleging that she was aware of that and she took no preventive action.
Did any of them, as far as you know, come forward to his wife and say what was happening?
We understand that perhaps there were situations where they were resolved informally, that she knew or should have known of the allegations being made.
So I think with that, we're going to close the press conference now. Thank you.
Okay, I'm going to need to see some hardcore evidence and proof because I'm not feeling it that an 85-year-old man, okay, even a couple of years ago, was raping people and being able to subdue them and hold them down. I'm also not feeling the fact that the attorney says that they felt that they could not leave. So you mean to tell me somebody's putting hands on you, forcing themselves on you, doing depraved and sick things, and you feel like you can't leave? And here's the question. If they didn't feel that they could leave then, or they felt, for whatever reason, they didn't want to report it in the first place, why now? Why now? What makes today's date so different? Why didn't you do something in the first place? Like, I'm not believing this. I'm going to need to see some proof, okay? College of Natural Health Sciences says, Royals, beware of these robust 80-year-olds. That's what I'm saying, okay? Was he taking Viagra? Okay, or Rose Sparks? Please, did he get it from Shannon Sharp or something? Okay, anyway, thank you for your insight into the topic, beloved, and your contribution to the channel. Peace, love, and blessings. Like, this sounds crazy to me. I'm going to need to see proof, facts, and receipts. And the attorney says that he has proof and evidence. Okay, well, we're going to sit back and see, because he could be another Tony Busby, just somebody out here trying to collect a check. Okay, so now let's talk about Byron Scott, okay, from the Lakers. He's accused of something nefarious as well. But before I get into that, let me say this. So you guys, I'm going to be covering the Diddy trial, as you know, and my insider told me today that I should start letting Tisa Tales go live before I do, because she's stealing my talking points and she's lying, saying that she has an insider who's telling her exactly what my insider told me. And we don't have the same insider, okay? So please pay attention. All right. And that's why she didn't go live yesterday. Okay. Because she was waiting to see what I was going to say, just like she usually does. All right. I want y'all to pay attention. Yes, she is a copy kitty. Okay. So that all been said, I'm going live after her ass tomorrow. Okay. Because she's not going to be stealing my talking points and trying to take my inside information and pretend that somebody told her the same thing. Girl, bye. Okay. So anyway, now that I have that off my chest, let's talk about it. Exclusive. Married LA Lakers actually assaulted a schoolgirl, 15 years old, in a locked janitor's closet. Please tell me this is all BS. This absolutely sounds nefarious. So Lakers legend Byron Scott has been accused of assaulting a schoolgirl in a janitor's closet when he was young. Okay. Now, details of the case are included in explosive documents obtained by the Daily Mail this week. This incident happened 38 years ago, y'all. 38 years ago? Okay, I do not get any of this. Who waits 38 years? Okay? Who waits 38 years to report something? This is absolutely egregious. Sheila says Tisa is still up to no good. She needs to stop it. She's not going to stop, honey. When you're not original and you're not authentic, all you can do is copy other people. That's all you can do, and tell a bunch of lies. And that's why she keeps doing it. Okay, no matter how many times I call her out, she's shameless. She has no shame. Okay, so Panther Strike says Queen put a copycat disclaimer at the beginning of the broadcast. Okay, I absolutely should. Okay, so now let's continue with this because this supposedly happened 38 years ago in a locked janitor's closet at an exclusive private school in LA. It was the summer of 1987, and Scott was at the school for an event with the Lakers team, according to a verified amended complaint. Now, the plaintiff, Haley Dillon, y'all can already tell what race she is by her name, was 15 at the time, has chosen to reveal her identity rather than remain anonymous. Shockingly, Scott, now 64, admits that he had sexual contact with the girl, but says that he was told she was 18. Scott's attorney, Linda Baumeister, says, our client is devastated by this complaint, a basketball event that took place in 1987. Our client believed the plaintiff to be over 18 years old and had no idea that she would claim otherwise until 35 years later. So he respects girls and women, excuse me, and claims that the claims have blindsided him and his family. Scott was married to his first wife, Anita Scott, age 66, whom he divorced in 2014 at that time. In the lawsuit, the now 53-year-old accuses the NBA superstar of sexual battery, sexual assault, false imprisonment, and intentional infliction of emotional distress. Let me tell you all something. You know what happened? She may have been 15 and lied and said she was 18, because let's not forget, people like her were groupies. Okay, there was a lot of groupies back then. They would do anything to get with a celebrity, okay, and they would lie about their ages and stuff. Maybe she did lie, but the bottom line is she knew what she was doing, okay, in my opinion. And then you're going to wait 38 years to come out like, lady, please, okay? Anyway, goes on to say, in the lawsuit, she says that it was intentional infliction of emotional distress, false imprisonment, assault, and sexual battery. Dillon also names Campbell Hall School, where she was a student at the time and where the assault allegedly occurred, as a defendant for not protecting her from Scott. Oh, so she's suing the school too. Okay, but didn't she in fact go into that closet herself? Did somebody point a gun or knife at her and force her into the closet, or did she just walk in there? I have several questions. Okay, I'm not saying she's lying, but I'm just saying her story sounds sketchy, and the fact that she waited 38 damn years really gives me cause for questions. Okay. Now, it goes on to say, before the incident, Dillon was a young girl who loved school and had never even kissed a boy. Afterwards, her innocence was shattered and her life forever altered. The 20-page lawsuit details how Scott, who was 26 at the time, allegedly forced himself on the girl after escorting her into an area of the school's gymnasium away from other adults. Dillon was taking a math summer class at the school during the same time several Lakers players were filming an instructional basketball video in the gym, and then also met with students, parents, and faculty members. Let me say this. Whether he did it or not, I have to say that he's a complete idiot, because he was 26 years old back then, old enough to know better. Why are you in a school building going to have relations with anybody, no matter what their age is, in a closet? Okay, I'm sorry. People put themselves in stupid predicaments, and that is what gives ground for these sorts of allegations to be made, whether they're true or not. Okay, Sheila says, does she have any evidence? How do you know she doesn't have any evidence after 38 years? After 38 years, I guarantee you, what evidence could she possibly have? Okay, Tatiana said, how will they prove this? Exactly. Well, you know, because she's the complexion for protection. I'm sure that's how that'll be proven. Okay, I mean, look at how they did Bill Cosby. They didn't have any DNA, they didn't have any evidence, they didn't have anything, but a bunch of lies as far as I was concerned. Okay, so anyway, goes on to say, it says that during a break in filming, staff and parents were with the players until being asked to leave the gym as taping was about to resume. But then the complaint claims that Scott pointed to Dillon and told production staff that she could stay. Despite the team being left alone with adults, Campbell Hall faculty and staff failed to take any steps or implement any safeguards to supervise or otherwise protect plaintiff from anything that could and eventually would happen to her. Now, instead, per the court record, school officials saw it as an opportunity for Haley to acquire autographs from the sports star. Okay, asking for autographs. Okay, this is what they say. Now, the school's then athletic director took a photograph of Haley with Scott as they sat together on the bleachers with the girl positioned between his legs on a lower step. The photo was then displayed in the athletic director's office, according to the complaint. Now, later, Scott asked Haley to have lunch with him, which, according to the suit, was part of a plan designed to gain Haley's trust and to further isolate her. Well, here's the thing. When this girl is sitting between his legs and people are taking pictures and they're talking about her getting autographs, nobody said anything about her being only 15 years old with this grown arse man who was 26 at the time. No other adults at the school who knew her age said anything. Y'all don't find that interesting? Y'all don't find that very, suspicious? Okay. So anyway, goes on to say the two picked up food from the craft services, and Scott took Haley into the drama theater located next to the gym where they ate together at a round table. At one point, two of her friends came into the other side of the theater briefly and then left. Now, when filming finished for the day, Scott asked Haley to give him a tour of the school's weight room and other gym facilities, which were located underneath the school's basketball court. Haley, proud and excited to be able to show off her school to someone she admired, she agreed. Things quickly took a turn for the worst when they were downstairs alone, according to the complaint. That's when Scott found an unmarked door at the end of the hallway, which he opened, went inside, flicked the light off and on and tested the lock. The room was a janitor's closet. Now, I'm going to tell you all something. Here's something that makes me believe that he absolutely thought she was 18, that she was of age. It's because he didn't deny that he had relations with her. He said that he did it. He admitted to it and said that he thought she was 18. Now, 38 years ago, okay, when you know she doesn't have any DNA proof or any type of evidence, really, any type of hardcore evidence, more likely than not, if he had really done this, maybe he would have lied about it and said that he didn't have relations with her. Okay. But the fact that he admitted it and said he thought she was older, well, that makes me think that he's telling the truth, that he did think that she was 18. But he's still an idiot for doing that at a school with a student, no matter what the age was. But let me continue. So anyway, he then forcefully grabbed Haley by the arm and pulled her inside the room, leaving her frightened and confused. Scott then began kissing her on the mouth as she repeatedly asked, "What are you doing?" Then, despite her clear protest, Scott pushed Haley to her knees and, against her will, pulled off her top. Scott then pulled down his shorts, exposed his cucumber that was standing straight up, tried to force Haley to perform fellatio on him. And then Haley was terrified and pleaded for Scott to stop and tried to turn her head away from his cucumber. Now, eventually, according to the complaint, Scott relented and told his victim to get up off the floor and get dressed. Then he unlocked the door so she could leave. It's all a hot mess. I want you all to pay attention. Measurement says in 18 months, we haven't been wrong yet. The email was sent to targets in November of 2024. Thank you for your contribution to the channel, beloved. Peace, love, and blessings. But I have no idea what you're talking about. Does what you're talking about have anything to do with the topic? Because I'm not sure what email you sent and to whom you sent it. But thanks for the contribution. Now, with that all being said, where was I? Okay, he allowed her to leave. Now, Scott's teammates, the Lakers assistant coach, trainer, and film production staff had seen him lead Haley away and then return roughly 20 minutes later, according to the complaint. By then, Campbell Hall staff, students, and parents had departed for the day. The players and production crew were having a wrap party outside the gym where alcohol was being served, according to the suit. It continues to say that Scott gave Haley a beverage, apparently alcohol, which she threw away after one sip. She had never tasted alcohol previously. First of all, after he had her in that closet, as she's claiming, and then held her in there against her will and then finally let her go, why was she even still talking to him after they left out of there? Why didn't she go running out of there screaming? Okay, I have questions. By now, Haley's mind was reeling and she was scared and disoriented. With no school staff or parents on hand, she had no way to get to her home in Encino, a few miles away, or a few miles west. According to Haley's lawsuit, Scott took her to his car, a red two-door Mercedes, where they sat and talked for 5 minutes. Why are you talking to somebody who just tried to make you eat their cucumber? Okay? with the player focused on discouraging her from telling anyone about the assault. And if she knew that he was trying to get her not to tell anyone, that would be the main reason I would have told someone. But let me continue. He suggested the two could hang out and have some Lakers merchandise and he gave her some Lakers merchandise from the trunk of the car, including a satin gym bag with his jersey number on it. Scott wore the number 4 for the Lakers. He eventually asked a teammate who also lived in Encino if he could take Haley home, but the player, apparently recognizing the inappropriate nature of driving along with a strange teen, responded, F no. I'm not putting that girl in my car. Well, I don't blame him. He had sense, okay? Instead, she used a payphone to call her mother, who picked her up. It was 20 years later when she learned that rumors of the assault had circulated around the school at the time, when one former student asked her, are you the girl that hooked up with Byron Scott? In the years that followed Scott's sexual assault and battery, Haley suffered, and she continues to suffer. I'm sure she does. Okay, I don't believe a word of it. Okay, severe psychological and emotional distress, as well as feelings of embarrassment, loss of self-esteem, shame, and humiliation. Yeah, okay. Let me tell you all what's going on here, in my opinion. I don't believe any of this what this lady's saying. I think that she may have had him thinking she was 18, like I said, but at the end of the day, he's still an idiot. But the bottom line is, now that they've opened the window for these people to come back, you know, after 30 and 40 and however many years and make these accusations, there are people who are going to keep doing it. People are going to keep doing it. And when it's somebody who looks like Byron Scott, Diddy, or whomever else, it's going to be a big deal. They're going to take people like the guy from Abercrombie and Fitch. And I want you all to pay attention, because the guy from Abercrombie and Fitch, okay, he's not been held accountable. Remember, I reported on him over a year ago. He has not been held accountable. They've swept that story under the damn rug. You haven't heard anything else about it, okay? And I'm going to talk about that in just a second, because I need to figure out what's going on, because I haven't looked up the update, but I will in just a second. So anyway, Dylan, formerly Haley Mendel, is represented by attorney Carrie Garvis Wright of law firm Glaser Will, who declined to comment. Now, despite the distance of years, Dylan chose to come forward after California Governor Gavin Newsom enacted the California Child Victims Act, which became law on January the 1st of 2020 and extended the statute of limitations for decades-old child sex cases. While still a difficult decision to come forward now and relive the trauma, Haley is bravely doing so to shine a light and to seek some amount of justice, hopefully closure for the significant psychological trauma and emotional distress that she has experienced every day since the sexual assault. Let me tell you all something. Y'all know what? I want you all to pay attention to something. You see, by them opening this look back window, and I'm not talking about for kids that were a victim of assault, because they should have one for that. But I'm talking about in general, like the ones in New York with the gender motivated violence and the look back window and all of that stuff. Y'all don't think that maybe that they did this so that people who were groupies and stuff back in the day, who were just doing things nefariously, can just come back and say, oh yeah, I was great. Oh, it was assault. That's just what I think. But let me continue, because what do I even know? Okay, so anyway, goes on to say the 6'4" shooting guard first played for the Lakers in 1983 to 1993 during the team's heroic Showtime era, and had a second stint from 1996 to 1997. And I want you all to pay attention, because when this lady says that she saw someone 20 years later, they asked her if she was the girl who hooked up. Hooked up. Okay, pay attention to what they said. Hooked up. Okay, like she willfully did it, which she probably did, in my opinion. But let me continue. The Showtime period for the Lakers ran from the late 1970s to the 1990s and became the most iconic period in professional basketball history, defined by its fast-paced style of play, charismatic players, and dazzling array of talent. Now 64 years old, he won 3 NBA championships with the team in 1985, 1987, and 1988, and was head coach from 2014 to 2016. He also played for the Indiana Pacers and Vancouver Grizzlies. He was assistant coach of the Sacramento Kings from 1998 to 2000 and won NBA Coach of the Year in 2008. Well, his legacy is about to be destroyed. Please pay attention, because we know how this is going to end. The father of 3, has 2 sons and a daughter. He married his second wife, Cecilia Cici Gutierrez, age 53, in 2020, who has 134,000 followers on Instagram and describes herself as an entrepreneur, a nurse, and a philanthropist. She runs a medical spa and has appeared on the VH1 reality show Basketball Wives LA. I thought she looked familiar. Scott lives in a $2.4 million house located 28 miles northwest of the Crypto.com arena in downtown LA, the Lakers home court, and the 4,400 square feet property built in 1996 has 5 bedrooms, 6 bathrooms, and a swimming pool and a basketball half court. According to the suit, despite having an affirmative duty to take reasonable steps to protect plaintiff from foreseeable risk of harm, Campbell Hall and its agents acted outrageously, but this is clearly a typo. It should say, I guess, but failed to intercede or otherwise taking any reasonable steps or to implement reasonable safeguards to avoid the sexual assault committed by Scott. Attorneys representing the school declined to comment. Located in the Studio City area of LA, the school costs $54,000 per year for students in grades 6 through 12. It bills itself as a gender-inclusive day school and a community of inquiry committed to academic excellence and to the nurturing of decent, loving, and responsible human beings. A number of Hollywood celebrities have passed through its classrooms in their teen years, including sisters Dakota and Elle Fanning, the Olsen sisters, Ashley, Mary Kate, and Elizabeth, director Paul Thomas Anderson, Modern Family actress Ariel, Tenet actor's son, John David Washington. Haley is seeking a trial by jury and damages for over $25,000, including loss of earnings and attorney's fees to be paid by Scott and Campbell Hall. Okay, so what do y'all think? What do you all think about this? Because I find it all so interesting. Okay, Marcy said, and they call black women gold diggers. Exactly, honey. Okay, you already know. Okay, now let's look up Michael Jeffries and see what's the update on him, because we haven't heard anything about it. Here it is, right? It came out 4 days ago. U.S. court rules that ex-Abercrombie CEO unfit for trial. Y'all hear that? He's unfit for trial. This nefarious man who did all sorts of nefarious things has now been deemed unfit for trial. The former chief executive of fashion brand Abercrombie & Fitch is mentally incompetent and currently unfit to stand trial on charges of sex trafficking and prostitution. This is what the U.S. court ruled, honey. How convenient. Mike Jeffries will now be held in custody and treated in hospital for an initial period of up to 4 months to determine if his condition is likely to improve enough for the case to proceed. Mr. Jeffries' legal team said last December he has dementia and late onset Alzheimer's disease. I'm sure he does. Okay. Yeah. He is accused of using his wealth, power, and status to traffic and sexually abuse vulnerable men over years, alleged crimes that could carry a lifetime jail sentence. Now, Judge Nusrat Chowdhury agreed on Friday that the defendant was suffering from a mental disease or defect, making him unable to understand court proceedings. Really? That's what they're doing? The ruling followed an assessment of 2 medical experts, one designated by Mr. Jeffries' defense team, and the other chosen by prosecutors. Judge Chowdhury said in a court order that Mr. Jeffries would be treated in hospital for up to 4 months to see if he's likely to regain competency. Wait till 4 months passes and they'll still say he's mentally incompetent. Okay, please pay attention. Just like the man who murdered those black people in Jeffersontown, Kentucky. All right? Now, once a follow-up assessment is complete, the defendant could either face trial or the court could weigh up the next steps. These could include dropping the criminal charges against him. Oh, wouldn't that be nice if they just simply drop the charges? Because guess what? He's got Alzheimer's. Okay, he could possibly understand what's going on in the court. Okay, please pay attention at the end of the day. Now, once a follow-up assessment is done, that's when they'll try to determine any further if he's going to go to court. Mr. Jeffries was arrested and charged last October along with his British partner, Matthew Smith, who's 61, and their middleman, James Jacobson, age 72. And of course, all three denied the accusations. Okay, U.S. prosecutors allege the men used force, fraud, and coercion to make young men, many of whom were aspiring models, engage in violent and exploitive acts, while Mr. Jeffries was chief executive from at least 2008 until 2015. So the charges follow a 2023 BBC documentary and ongoing podcast series that revealed the three of them benefited from a sophisticated operation in which recruiters scouted young men for sex in cities including London, New York, Paris, and Marrakesh. The BBC has since revealed that more than 40 men, including Abercrombie and Fitch employees, have now come forward with civil allegations of sexual assault, drugging, or rape, with claims dating all the way back to 1992, the year Mr. Jeffries started running the company. And I want you all to pay attention. You see how it goes all the way back to 1992 in this man's case, but now that he's 82 years old, he's deemed incompetent. Now, are they going to say the same for Mr. Smokey Robinson, who's even older than him? Of course they're not, because he knew exactly what he was doing. At least that's what they're going to say. So civil trial lawyers have told the BBC that their clients are dismayed at the criminal court's decision that Mr. Jeffries is unfit to stand trial. They say, we've been speaking with other clients, or been speaking with our clients who are disappointed by the decision and still want justice. Okay, and there's 26 victims that Brad Edwards and Brittany Henderson are representing. Brian Bieber, Mr. Jeffries' criminal defense lawyer, said that his client had recently been evaluated by doctors who determined he had Alzheimer's disease, Lewy body disease, and the residential effects of a traumatic brain injury requiring around-the-clock care, which will almost certainly grow worse over time. So please pay attention. They're painting the narrative already, as far as I'm concerned, that, you know, they're saying they're going to wait and see a few months from now if he's gained any more competency to stand trial. But clearly, he's not going to gain any get any more competent than he is now, because his lawyer is saying that it's going to get worse, that it's certainly going to get worse over time. Okay, so I guess his lawyer is clearly a psychic. Now, Dr. Cheryl Paradis, the U.S. prosecutor's medical expert, also independently assessed Mr. Jeffries. And according to court papers, she found that he was unable to understand the nature and consequences of the proceedings against him or to properly assist in his defense. His memory impairment almost certainly would cause him to be unable to accurately recall key events and details, okay, and severely limit his capacity to provide accurate and reliable information. She added that additionally, his inappropriate behavior, which is a symptom of his dementia. Oh, so him raping people was due to his dementia? Okay. Says that which is a symptom of his dementia could further interfere with his ability to maintain proper courtroom demeanor. He may blurt out self-incriminating statements or engage in erratic behavior, which would undermine his credibility. Do y'all hear this bullshit? The BBC understands that Mr. Jacobson and Mr. Smith could still face trial on the same trafficking and prostitution charges. Alongside criminal charges, Mr. Jeffries and his partner, Mr. Smith, have been defending multiple civil lawsuits accusing them of rape, trafficking, and assault, which they vehemently deny. How does he know to deny anything if he has Alzheimer's? How does he know that he didn't do it? Okay, I have questions, but he's denying stuff. The civil lawsuits have been stayed or legally put on pause until the resolution of the criminal case, which takes precedence to protect Mr. Jeffries' right against self-incrimination. Now, while his criminal case remains uncertain, Mr. Jeffries could still face a civil trial or reach a settlement over the allegations. If this was the case, the outcome could lead to compensation being awarded to the alleged victims. Yeah, and I want you all to notice something else about this man. This man was not deemed a flight risk, and he was given a bail when Diddy wasn't. And some of his accusers had also said that they were being threatened and harassed too. Okay, so I found that interesting as well. Now, Mike Jeffries attacked these men and ruined their lives at a point when they were at their most vulnerable and chasing their dreams. This is what civil case lawyer Brad Edwards said. He will still be held accountable by our lawsuit, and his co-conspirators will still face the criminal justice system. For anyone affected still in fear about coming forward, you should be reassured that his power is now totally gone. Abercrombie and Fitch is also being sued for negligence, with lawsuits claiming that it knowingly facilitated heinous sexual crimes. The company also owns the Hollister brand and has previously said that it was appalled and disgusted by Mr. Jeffries' alleged behavior. So you mean tell me they didn't know about it after all those years? Yeah, I pretty much think they did. Okay, so y'all heard that? Did y'all hear that? So what do y'all think? What do y'all think? Aquarius MC said, I'm not buying Smokey's story. I want my money back. Okay. OG Patrice said, everybody live talking about Smokey Robinson now. I know they are, honey. Panther Strike said, Queen, he joins the ranks with Matt Lauer. He raped a woman and they just dropped the charges back in 2019, I do believe. Yeah, they swept that under the rug. Okay, that's what they do. That's exactly what they do. So anyway, honey, y'all know it is what it is. Okay, so now let's talk about Shedeur Sanders. They say fresh blow for Shedeur Sanders as Cleveland Browns hands rookie quarterback his first setback. What kind of bullshit are they in on now? Okay, so Cleveland Browns quarterback Shedeur Sanders is facing life as an NFL rookie without the perks he could have expected as a first-round pick. Rather, the 23-year-old fifth-round selection has been denied number 2, which he's worn since his high school days in Texas, and will instead begin the Browns' off-season program as number 12. Instead, the former Colorado star journeyman receiver DeAndre Carter has been given number 2, a number he hasn't worn at any of his previous 8 stops in the NFL. What? Do y'all hear this? How does this even make sense? This dude has not ever had the number 2, but now all of a sudden they're giving him number 2. That sounds sketchy as hell. Although third overall pick, Abdul Carter has struggled to secure his preferred jersey number with the New York Giants. First-round NFL draft picks often have their choice of jersey numbers, provided they're not already taken by their new teammates. But for those taken in the draft's latter 6 rounds, as Sanders was after falling to number 144 overall, nothing is guaranteed. That holds particularly true in Cleveland, where only second-round pick Carson Schwessinger was given the same jersey number he wore in college. Even first-round pick Mason Graham and quarterback Dylan Gabriel are switching jerseys, so Sanders is certainly not alone. He previously wore number 2 while playing for his Hall of Fame father, Deion Sanders, in Dallas Trinity Christian, Jackson State, and Colorado. Now, on Tuesday, many fans were upset to see that streak broken in Cleveland. So they say, man, if they don't stop playing with my boy and give him that number 2, I'm going to slap somebody. That's what an angry fan wrote online. The fan was writing a week after Sanders' highly publicized draft day tumble. So once projected as a first-round pick, Sanders spent another 2 full days on the board before going to the Browns in the 5th. Along the way, he faced criticism over reportedly disappointing pre-draft interviews with teams while receiving support from none other than President Donald Trump. Please don't try to give Trump no darn credit. Trump just doesn't like the NFL because they wouldn't let his arse be a leader. Okay? And also, speaking of Trump, I did hear that the reason he's upset with Harvard, well, we already know it's because he wanted them to put him on the board, allegedly. But also, I was told that he also is upset because his son, Byron Trump, wasn't allowed to enter that school. He supposedly applied there and was denied. Now, that's just what I heard. Okay, so anyway, Sanders tried to quickly familiarize himself with his new work home by visiting with students in the cafeteria at John Marshall High School, about 6 miles from the Browns complex in Berea, Ohio. Whatever situation they're in, this is basically what he told the students. Whatever situation they're in, that's really where I feel like I have the most impact on. It's really the kids and giving them a different perspective of respect parents, respect their elders, and respect those people that are in position to give you advice. That's what he told the media. The Browns rookie minicamp starts on May the 9th. Okay? Well, you know, one thing about it is, Alice said 22. You know, that would have been better than 12, Alice. I agree with you on that. Number 22 would have been better than number 12. But, you know, I'll tell you like this. At the end of the day, I'm pretty sure Shadur is not so bothered by this because, to be honest, the Sanders are never really too bothered by anything. They kind of go with the flow. And, they expect to be hated on. They've already said that. And so, I'm just sure. DJ Big Six said hazy. Okay. Mel says, why are they constantly on his back? Bithia said, this is on purpose, the heathens. We know it's on purpose. I absolutely think it is. And here's the thing. To make it look like it's not on purpose, let's just not give a couple more of the rookies that are just getting signed. Let's also not give them their numbers so it won't look like it's all on purpose. That's what I think. And that's just what I think. And I could be wrong, but I could also be absolutely right. Okay, so anyway, there it is. Okay, there it is, y'all. All right. So anyway, but regardless as to all of the shenanigans they try to pull, Shadur is going to show and prove. I'm sure of that, just as they always have. Okay. So the haters can just keep on hating and doing what they do. At the end of the day, they're not going to stop nothing. Okay. That's what they're not going to do. All right. So anyway, with that all being said, I'm going to conclude this broadcast. Okay. And this is my last live for the night, honey. Y'all can miss me with it. Okay. Even if any more breaking news comes out, you won't hear from me till in the morning, okay? So with that all being said, I love you all to life. I hope you all enjoy the rest of this evening. Each one teach one. That's how we grow and thrive. Do something productive, constructive, but never destructive. And always remember, beloveds, to keep the Most High first in your lives. And until next time, I will talk to you all again soon. Peace.
With that
gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you're done. They show no love for the queen. Why you hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans? I got dreams like King Luther, shed blood like Kunsa. You ain't helping my people, I ain't got nothing to say to ya. I want all the smoke like hookah. Talking reparations, America won't be great until they give us compensation. I'm like, I'm the hottest right now. See a bunch of lames out here trying to jock on my style. They be doing too much. I'm the queen, it's too easy. It's like they all at Popeyes, how they be talking so greasy. I just sit back and laugh while these haters get madder. So nefarious how they don't want my pockets with cheddar. I tell them they can do better. These snakes in the grass can leave a bite on your ass, cause y'all be trusting too fast. I got my foot on the gas, other one on they necks. Dropping receipts on haters, you better show some respect. I'm never facing regrets, we only facing the threats. Running through every challenge like a relay, break no sweat. It's a cold game, so I got that blanket with me. Now that my people awaken, ain't no going to sleep. I do not play by my piece, this time I'm playing for keeps. You talking slick, but when I see you like them ends, we gon' meet. And I got gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you done. They show no love for the queen. Why they hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans and I got gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you done. They show no love for the queen. Why they hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans and I got